This is a typewriter. This is the Super Sterling, manufactured by Smith Corona with a serial dating to 1974. It features your basic, typical QWERTY layout for the keyboard, a return button, and a margin release lever. Let me show you some basics on how to get it running and or working. One of many, but this one has to be at least one of the most intuitive, so I suppose I will begin with this one. This is your Super Sterling, manufactured by Smith Corona with a serial at least dating to 1974. What are some features that this keyboard and or typewriter itself provides? Well, first off, it's electric. So now you can hear it humming. Let's see if I can angle this properly. There we go. So now that we've got it running, just what now exactly does it do? Well, what doesn't it do? You have your return. You have your return. You have your return. Oh, come on. Now, without further ado, you have your return. Alright, let's give her a warm-up. You have your shift lock, your tab. Now, you return. There we go. See, she lives. She lives. Your margin release levers. Your paper holder. So you can set your margin to your desired wanting and or liking. The same for this one. So say if we want big old paper, you can put them there. Want your typical sheet, what I typically type with, around the 10 margin, and say 90. Power space seems to be defunct on this model, but once again you have your tab and your return, your typing, although what is reminiscent about this model is that it lacks fully a exclamation mark, or more rather the actual punctuation for that, along with the number 1. As to why, it is odd, but let me also dive into some further features. So, let me get a piece of paper and let her warm up for a second. Alright. It's as simple as loading it up. Oh, come on. Alright. There we go. You have your paper holder right here. There. So let's begin. There we go. The margin works as intended. You can space to the right spacing with your backspace right here. And you continue. You can also adjust how far you want your margin. So for example, or not margin more rather, but your return. So, hello. And you can set to the 2 space. Just a little thinner. Maybe even to 2.5. Maybe even 1. And that means it's practically up on one another. As for our ink ribbon, this one is particularly a little worn, but is an original ink spool. So, we have our full black setting, our midway is a bit fainter, and then we have, believe it or not, our actually corrective, fully white ribbon at the bottom, as you can see. So, I would take it this is a fully corrective measure, and you can just blot out any word you want, although the actual typed word is far more blank white. It's a very pasty, white out white. So it's a If you send a letter to someone and it has an error, it'll be increasingly apparent that you actually made an error on it. So, this is the Super Sterling. Let me show you another. Begin transition. Alright, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Come on, new typewriter. This here is our Corona Silent floating ship model, dating to, I want to say, if I recall correctly, 1932. So we're only going 4 decades into the past now, aren't we? So, once again, akin to the 70s Super Sterling, we lack our number 1 and our exclamation mark, or the symbol of punctuation. But we have our margin release lever, we have our color picker, so black, white corrective ribbon, red highlighter ribbon, but we can leave it at black for now. We have the luxury of backspace even. Ain't that neat? Space, shift lock, and once again, floating shift, so it floats, look at that. And now, our return lever. You can set it to 1, or you can set it to 2. But if your preference leaves it to where you would like only 1, you can just set 1. Take a close look at your gear cog over there. Your margin release on the back, so you can adjust. So for example, we can adjust all the way up here, and there's your bell. Here's your paper release, and your carriage lever. Paper advance rollers, and that's about it. Key component, what is this thing missing? You guessed it, it is entirely mechanical. There's not a single electrical component in this thing, and for 1932, I wouldn't say that, at least for most things, there wasn't so much of an electrical implementation within them quite as of yet. So, taking our paper with free-form poetry of hello, let's give her another go here. Let's see. Once again, this is an original, well, not an original, but it was a duplicate ribbon from at least, I think I want to say Pelican used to make them quite a bit then, but it is still just as worn here. So, couple of typing errors there on my part, and unfortunately, oh darn if we only had our corrective ribbon, but there you go. So now, let's jump ahead to at least come the 19XX something, and let us begin onto our next model transition. Alright, come on, say it with me. 3, 2, 1. Oh, alright. Now could this quite possibly be the future within itself? Well, let's take a look here. It is the Smith Corona XE5000, and I want to say this was a mid-80s to maybe early 90s model. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, just what does this thing do? Well, first off, it is electrical, so ignition already. I love the spirit. Space, exclamation mark, what do you know? Alright, shift lock, little LED bulb there indicates that your lock is on, so there you go. Entirely little to nothing mechanical in the chassis. Take a look here. Look at all that empty space, man. Alright. Tab, left margin, right margin. You can set your margins however you like. Clear, backspace, return. You can keep rolling, shift, index. Take up your paper that way, reverse index, put it out. Relocate, correct. then your word eraser. So we can see that in just a moment with our test sheet. So let's see here. Our paper lever, which was surprisingly absent with our last model, be silent. Our fine tuner roller right here, and then our main roller. So, return. So set to that margin. Tab set clear. Left margin. There we go. So, get a load of that quality right there, huh? Now, is that the future or what? And now, let's demonstrate the word eraser. Oh, come on. Ah! There we go. So beneath this one, this is a mistake. Period. Word eraser. Now you saw me type all the way to mistake, didn't you? And look what it did. If you look very, very closely, you can see the faint mistake right there, but it just clean picks it off with a little autocorrected sticky tape. But now this, we may never know. So now let's take even closer looks at these models, and we can begin at least from here and work backwards in our order of orientation at least. So let's see. So, unlike our last two models, this model is clearly absent of anything mechanical in the slightest. In fact, our ink cartridge here is surprisingly different. It's not like any ribbon I've ever seen. Although I have seen these before, and this is still a relatively good, fresh ribbon. As you can tell, just not enough spool in the back. Certainly does get the job done, and job done right at that. Pop it back in. So, notice, no spool. Alright, well, what else? What else is this thing naked of? Well, if you look here, this mechanism over here, it doesn't create too much noise or interference. There is no type font. You don't have all the guts and teeth. You have a little circle here. And I think, well, personally with my brother, the brother typewriter model, you could actually interchange these for different fonts, but although for this one I don't believe you can, but for the brother model, it would come in a little plastic cartridge if you could actually, you know, have your different fonts. If you wanted italics, if you wanted bold, you could just interchange, you know, swap out of them. But at that, I do not want to risk anything with this being broken, so I will leave it at that, just solely for demonstration purposes. Watch this thing run. Does it look like a modern printer or what? Alright. And, warning, keep fingers, hair, jewelry, etc. away from this area when the machine is in operation. Take your notes. Don't leave your kids around this thing. You know? Talk about guns these days. When you got something like this going, a necktie right here is a death trap. So, that's pretty much all there is to the guts there. You have your basic QWERTY keyboard. Nothing too much to write home about. Your word eraser, tab set, left margin, right margin set, how far you want your return set, margins once again, your little indicator here to tell you how far you're going down, radio tuner, your shift, your return, your backspace, correct, relocate, reverse index, and index. But as you can notice, this thing is almost entirely silent. There is no rattling, no humming, no shuddering, jolting, shaking. But, if you ask me, I think that almost is like taking this thing away if it's all of its character and all personality, all. But in terms of technicality, this thing does give the other models a run for their money. Let's take a look at our... Oh, right, the silent. Well now, what do we have in store here? Let's pop the hood. Easy. Does it now? So, it's quite bare bones. Really, nothing in here is much you mess with aside from your ink spools and ribbons, like the little holders to help advance the ribbons themselves into their spools, and that's about quite it. Everything else is pretty much consumed by the space and mechanical expertise of the 30s, so unfortunately you don't have all your warning signs about hair, jewelry, neckties, clothing, yada yada, unfortunately, but watch it work. Oh, yikes. Well, did it itself. There you go. Those have to be all the guts and innards to at least the silent here. Nothing exactly too much of note. Everything else is right here on the face. So, on the face, the nice ivory little highlight to each letter and key along with a little silver ring. Your shift lock, margin release, color picker, backspace, margin release. So I guess the lever there also helps coincide with this, unless you want a physical button. And then your floating shift once again. All your keys, keys, letters, characters, that's it. And that's it for the silent. And now here we have about the binding median between the two. We have the merge of electronic components alongside mechanical. So, when we pop the hood here, and pardon me for being brash earlier, I was almost a little worried because the return can be a little finicky, with this model being just a touch bit temperamental, but in the right hands it gets the job done. Oh, and the hood just pops off like that. You can do what you want with it, but it lines up just like so, back to pop into easy placement. So, we have our whole typeface, our ribbons, and everything else is pretty much occupied by the actual mechanics, and there is not too much space to work with, although I can see how for small children, pets, animals, neckties, once again, neckties, clothing, everything, jewelry, this can be a little finicky. I wouldn't stick your fingers in there. So, let's turn it on. Alright, kind of shuddering breathing. If you take a close look here, right down there will be your main heart. This is the main little belt drive here. But, let's see. Alright. There's your shift lock, tab. Uh-oh. I'll jam up with the cable here. There we go. Return, so. And there we go. Oh, yikes. And I had to clean that off since I left that on white, but hey, now you can see. Hello? Hope you're doing well today. Oh, yikes. It does wipe off easily, but man, it slipped my mind. But there we go. There we have it for the main guts. So let's pop the hood back on here. Alright, and now as we angle backward, you have your basic QWERTY keyboard. You may be wondering, what is this key? Nothing on it do. Well, that is your 1/2 and 1/4 symbol, although it just seems that the actual little emblem, the little bezel for it, popped off at some point, so it is no longer present. But you have the backspace, your shift lock, your tab, your return, there we go, shift, and your margin release, which you just click as soon as you come towards your margin. So say, for example, if I move all the way right here, just shy of the little bell, so, oh man, I want to keep typing. Margin release. I can type, period. And there you have it. Power space, once again, doesn't hold any reaction, but space certainly does. There you go, that's the return. So this has to be at least a good in-depth look at all the models here. Once again, coming full circle back to our Super Sterling here. And it's certainly a very lovely model for the eyes. I love the blue as well, that classic Super style. Of course, Super Sterling, you had your 60s ones with little white enamel, kind of ivory keys. But yes, certainly a treat to work with all of these of the Smith Corona selection, Smith Corona variety and brand. One parting note for the end of this video, unfortunately our unsung warrior and hero, the brother, as noted when it came to the typeface for the XE5000, this is it. I wanted to dedicate this video primarily to the Smith Corona models that I have, but here it is in all its glory. Thank you once again, you son of a gun, you. Alright, you can back away. Get it.